Today I'm going to give you all the tips on what I would do if I was to start my YouTube channel over again tomorrow. I'm Octavia Klein. I teach women entrepreneurs how to crush it on social media. Let's jump into this. Now first, let me just say this. I just give you a little inspiration, okay? Just a little inspiration here onto why it is important for you to start a YouTube channel. If it's something that you have been thinking about, and maybe it's not a YouTube channel, maybe you want to grow on Instagram, maybe you want to grow on TikTok, whatever it is, just do it, okay? It's not just about 20-year-olds crushing it, although there's a lot of 20-year-old millionaires, but there are a ton of 30-year-old millionaires, 46 year, hey, 46 year, I'm not a millionaire yet, but my husband is. 46 here, okay? I'm crushing it on social media, and even older who are making money. And I'm going to tell you something. I live in Los Angeles. I live in Hollywood. My husband is an animation producer. Almost all of the parents at my daughter's school are all in production. So they're either writers, directors, DPs, whatever, right? All of those people right now, the industry is shutting down, okay? People are not getting jobs. People are not getting work in that industry. Shows are not being bought. There's like a whole kind of upheaval going on in that business right now. And so many of them are like, how do I start a YouTube channel? There's a whole article on it right now. Right now, the content creator world is like a $50 billion business, and it is projected that it's going to be a $480 billion business by 2027. So the time is now, my friend. You think it's saturated. You think there's too many people. It is so not oversaturated. There's a ton of people trying to make it on here. There's a ton of people who have quit. There's a lot of people, and I've seen this happen. I've seen people make millions of dollars on social media and then decide it's not for them, and they go and take their money and start investing it in other ways. Sometimes it's just a jumping off point for people, and they go and do something else. You can do this, all right? There are people far dumber than you or I making millions of dollars on this platform. So I know you can do it. So that's my inspiration for you. The other thing I just want to say on that, there's no gatekeepers here, okay? You don't need permission from anybody. You don't need to get an agent. There's no gatekeepers. I came out here 25 years ago to be an actress, and there are gatekeepers literally saying who they're going to let into the Hollywood world and who is not. So many people come to this town trying to be actors, trying to make it in this industry, be writers or whatever, and they just get locked out. You can't get locked out of social media. If you have a camera and you have something you want to say and you want to inspire the world, you can do it. There is nobody stopping you. And I'm going to just tell you, the more real you are, the more people want to hear you. And I'm really talking to people who are over 35, okay? It is our job to pass down the knowledge. The things that you have gone through, the things that you have learned, the things that whatever you've been through in life is going to inspire the next generation. Get on here, inspire people. Whatever the knowledge is that you have that you want to share, get on here and share it. There is somebody who needs to hear it. Even if you just do one video, you never know who's going to see that video and be inspired by it. And you're going to get some karma points for that video. That's my spiel on that. Now I'm going to jump into what I would do differently if I was going to start a YouTube channel tomorrow. The number one thing I would do is I would have really niched down. I was doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, thought it would all go together, right? But if I had really just honed in on what the other creators in my niche were doing and just focused on those videos and focused on recreating those videos over and over again, I feel like I would have grown a lot faster, like really finding out what my audience wanted to learn from me. Because really what you're here to do is solve a problem for somebody. There's no other reason why somebody's going to click on my video unless they want to learn something that I can solve for them. They want to learn how to make more money, how to be inspired to do this, how to edit better. Really, really honing in and niching down on my audience would have been probably my number one thing. I've also heard from other creators not to niche down. There's a whole tribe of people right now who are like, oh, you want to speak to everybody. In time, you can start speaking to everybody. But when you very first start, one of the reasons you want to niche down is the YouTube algorithm takes time to get to know you as a new creator. And that AI is listening to what you say, it's reading your descriptions and your captions, and it's really trying to figure out what audience to put you to. Maybe the young 20-year-old dudes don't really want to learn from a 46-year-old woman. One of the reasons you really want to stick to one subject is just so that the algorithm can really tune into your data, all your SEO that you're putting in to each video, and getting you to the right audience. So really honing in and saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to be the expert on this, and then just make a ton of videos, even if you're recreating the same video. I want to show you right here. This person literally made the exact same video 100 times, but it's the same video, the same jargon, like the same voiceover and everything. It's crazy. This person has a ton of subscribers, and that's all they're doing. Now, I'm not saying that you should totally carbon copy this, but one of the problems is, as creators, we're very creative. So, sure, I could teach on inspiration, how to bake a cake, be a better mother, make baby food. And I could teach people about social media. I could teach people about cameras. I'm a photographer for 14 years, but I needed to be very specific. And what I found was my audience really loved to learn from me about all the features in the Instagram app. That's what they wanted to learn. They also want to learn editing from me, and I'm very good at explaining those things, very precise and consistent, right? They want to learn social media. Number 2, this is huge, and it's actually something I did recently, which I forgot to mention in the last video, on why I got monetized so quickly. I would compile a list of all the big YouTubers that are in my niche, and it's kind of hard to find them all sometimes, but find those big ones, the ones that really speak to you, the ones that, you can relate with, maybe even kind of have your own voice. And what you want to do is you want to go through and look at all of their most popular videos, not all of their most popular videos of all time. You want to look at their most popular videos from the last year. The last year only, because one of the things that's really cool about YouTube and what I love about it and why I think everybody should be on YouTube and not all these other platforms, it's evergreen. YouTube is owned by Google, and when people search for something on Google, Google is going to give them a YouTube video. So if you made a YouTube video 5 years ago on how to make homemade perfume, that video now probably has like millions of views. People have just Googled it over the years, and it has just grown and grown and grown. So when you're looking at the creators that are popular in your niche, you want to look at what they've been doing in the last year, because what they did 5 years ago, we've moved on. And then look at their thumbnails. Really study their thumbnails, study their titles, study their hook, study all those things. And then take all that data and compile it into a list. So what I did is I made an Excel sheet, and I compiled all the titles, all the hooks, and I took that information and I gave it to ChatGPT. And I said, hey, can you find the similarities in this? And figure out some hooks and titles that I can use in my business. They kind of figure out what that formula is, right? What that hook formula is, what that title formula is, and you can create it in your own business. Now, I'm not saying don't copyright on out, all right? Put your own spin on it. But there's some things that are very similar. For instance, in the food world, okay, there's a ton of videos out there like, I paid bakeries to do blank. I meal prepped for blank. Those are sort of outliers that are out there that you can recreate for yourself, and that get searched a lot, right? And the algorithm's like, oh, I know who to send this video to because we're already sending it over for, Rosario or whoever, right? Or Mr. Beast or whoever. I would do all this studying before I even turned on the camera. And let me tell you something, I'm excited to turn on the camera. And often I have turned on the camera too quick, started recording something, and then gone back later and gone, you know what? I didn't have a hook. I didn't look at my title. I didn't do my thumbnail. Those are the first things you should do. You should have a title, a thumbnail, and a hook before you even get started. Now, you don't need to have the graphics and the artwork for the thumbnail, but you need to know what you're going to write on it. Number 3, be consistent, okay? That is definitely the thing I would have for sure done a little bit more. Now, I was pretty consistent though. I posted for the first 6 months, once a week, and then I took a couple breaks in there because life got in the way. I'm a mother. I have a 6-hour window when my daughter's at school to crush my whole life, okay? That might be my shower, my exercise, my doctor's appointments, my beauty appointments, and crushing it on social media. And one of the things I would have loved to have done is to not gotten distracted by trying to grow on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and all the other platforms, and just focus those couple hours that I had a day, just focused it on YouTube, and maybe even created 2 or 3 videos per week. So if you really want that fast growth, that's where it's at. Posting multiple videos in a week. Maybe even creating some of your videos. Now I have a video on this. you could take some of your videos and you can plug it into an AI program that will then make it into shorts for you. So then you can get more content out there. So number 4 is shoot with what you have. Don't worry about getting a bunch of fancy equipment or lighting or any of that stuff. I've been a photographer for 14 years, so I already had all the fancy equipment. But that's okay. You're just getting started. And I'm going to tell you something. Your first 5 to 10 videos, ain't nobody going to see them anyways. I hate to break it to you, but just know your first video may not go viral. I mean, it might. Okay, I'm not gonna say it won't, because I believe in manifestation, and girl, if you put it out there, it could happen. But most likely, it's not gonna go viral right away. That's your learning curve. Okay, first of all, learning how to talk on camera, learning how to use your camera, learning how to edit your videos, things like that. I do have a masterclass on how to create better videos with your phone. So if you want to learn better editing, better video skills, all that, you can find that in my Content Creator Pro course below. Most smartphones now have amazing cameras on them. Use some window light and just get a tripod, okay? And then as you get better, as you're learning, you learn more about your camera equipment and you can start upgrading, get some money flowing in a little bit, know this is what you want to do, and then upgrade your equipment. Don't worry about jumping out the gate looking this professional as you see here, okay? So one thing I learned from Mr. Beast, every time you video, just improve on one thing. So maybe you're improving your lighting. Maybe you're learning a new editing trick. Maybe you're adding different captions, improving your hooks, analyzing your data. With each video, just improve one thing, like learn one new skill. Number 5, and I talked about this earlier, but it is huge. Focus on your thumbnails, your titles, and your hooks, okay? I know I kind of touched on this earlier, but I can't stress it enough. The thumbnail is basically your billboard for your customer on YouTube. That's like your main advertisement is your thumbnail. So if your thumbnail ain't looking great, people are not gonna click on it, okay? And one thing is changing the thumbnails. So like my thumbnails that I was doing 2 years ago, which looked beautiful and up to date, now they look a little outdated. And I am going back through and I'm updating all my thumbnails. And Mr. Beast updates his thumbnails every 2 years. So even if you've already started a YouTube channel, maybe you go back through and update those thumbnails so they're have a better click-through rate, right? With your thumbnail and your title, that is an opportunity to sell 2 different things, right? So you don't want your thumbnail and your title, like whatever you've written on your thumbnail, you don't want it to be the same thing as your title. The thumbnail should be more of like a hook, like grabbing your attention. The title can have a little more information for that person to say, yeah, I definitely want to click through on this video. And you definitely need a hook. You need something that's going to hook people in. I have a free guide for you called my Content Creator Guide. So if you're brand new to content creation, there's a bunch of good hooks in there, a lot of great information on getting started as a content creator. There's a link to my course, which is Content Creator Pro. I know these 2 names are very similar. But Content Creator Pro has a ton of hooks in there. It also teaches you great video editing skills, all the ins and outs of getting started on social media, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. There is a ton of great information if you are somebody who is brand new to getting started with content creation. Excellent course for you. So you can grab a link to that below. One of the other tools that has really helped me with my titles and thumbnails is VidIQ. It's been a game changer. So I will link that below, but it's basically a tool that you can plug in to your computer. It'll help you to create better titles, better thumbnails. It'll help you with your SEO and your tags and all kinds of stuff, okay? It will show you the outliers of not only your videos, but your competitors' videos so that you can figure out what content you should be creating next. One of my videos, I will say I just posted this video and after 8 days, it already had 3,000 views. And that is due to VidIQ. The number 6 thing I would have done if I'm starting my YouTube channel over is creating content. Those, what I want to call income producing activities, right? Videoing the content, editing the content, and posting, right? And really getting on a consistent schedule for myself, because it's gonna be a learning curve. That alone, if you're somebody who has a family, you're working a full-time job, you're doing all this stuff, it's gonna be tough to find the time. And if you like post one video and you're like, well, it didn't work, nobody liked it, nobody subscribed. Well, nobody's going to, because it's your first video. It takes time. The only thing you should obsess on is learning all the ins and outs of the platform that you decided to be on and how that you are going to create that content. Don't look at the subscriber count. Don't look at the views. If there's anything you're going to look at, you're going to look at the data behind it. So you're going to be looking at things like your click-through rate, your average view duration, and creating longer videos. So one thing that people do, okay, if you want to get those views in, okay, this is really cool. You create kind of a shorter video, right? And then you have a master class afterwards. And that's one of the ways you can get those watch hours. So you have a shorter video and you learn to put an end screen, okay? A big mistake I did is not learning about end screens. Then that leads to a master class, all right? I also have a freebie below, which is my YouTube blueprint. So that teaches you about end screens and all the things I'm talking about right now, just a little more details for you. Number 7 would be list building, okay? That's another thing that I would focus on that's very, very important, okay? And I know you're like, what, emails? Like, does anybody even check their emails anymore? They do, and here's the issue. At any point, your channel could be deleted, suspended, the whole program could go away, okay? There was a day, I think last year, 2 years ago, Instagram and Facebook both went blackout for 24 hours. Everybody was shaking in their boots. But the people who had an email list and were able to email their audience, they were able to sell their product or service or whatever they were doing, right? Additionally, let's say you get locked out of your account, you can email your list and say, hey, I've been locked out of my account. I'm starting a new account. Catch me over here. Plus, on that back end, you can sell your products and services and be able to have a more in-depth conversation with the people who are following you. So basically, your social media is like a funnel, right? There's people who see you, they may click on your video, and then there's people who subscribe, they stay, they follow, they do those things, right? And then there's people who join your email list, and those are the people who are buying your courses, they are buying your products, buying your services, whatever it is, right? So it's just one big funnel, but without that email list, you're not really funneling them the correct way. And one of the things that I use, I think is very easy, is Flowdesk. I will put a link to that below. Flowdesk is a great way to catch those emails, give people a freebie or something so that they're gonna come in and be your actual customer. So that concludes the 7 things that I would do if I was starting my YouTube channel over tomorrow. I wanna say to you, don't give up. You have not missed the boat. You can do this, all right? There are people coming in and coming out every single day, but it's the people who stay the course that are really making it happen on YouTube, on all these social media channels. So I wish you luck. Again, I have a ton of free links and resources below, so look in the description for all the links, and I will see you in the next video.